Okay, let's go to the second one, validation and invalidation research. Well, you've been keep updating and adding good functions and features to your wireframe designs, right? We are doing the paper prototype for our designs this week, and next week after we finish that, we are doing this second user research step. It's about showing your paper prototypes to your friends and family, online or offline, of course. Let's get the pen. Okay. As the word itself, invalidation and validation, is saying, in this stage of research, you kick out the unnecessary parts and welcome the new necessary functions to your designs with the help of you yourself, your team, and other people, the users. The validation phase should be about challenging the design team, finding issues and weaknesses, and receiving needed input for additional improvement. After this phase, you should finally have an answer to these questions. Did your design solve the original issue? Which aspects of your design work? Which aspects of your design did not work? And is the information architecture, the flowchart is right? Is this functionality understandable and working? Does it have pleasant look and feel? Well, the last question is after the visual designing, though. Anyways, a few slides before we had a small talk about contextual interviewing. Do you remember? What was it again, guys? Okay, let's see. This slide. The contextual interviewing was about getting feedbacks and comments on your design sketches or prototypes, I said. Right, okay, let's go back. This validation is basically that contextual interviewing. We interview people as well as yourself in this stage. Well, before we do that contextual interview thing with other users, we do validation and validation process on our own designs first. So how do we do that? You do, yes, this one, heuristic evaluation check we covered last time. Is your design, you ask yourself, is your design let the users know what is going on? And second, does your interface or icons and buttons represent the right intended meaning? Third, does your interface has or provides undo, redo, go back, or go forward functions? Does your design has consistency and standards that people won't make mistakes easily? Does your design provides help to less experienced users like your grandparents, that they won't be able to make mistakes easily? Are you letting the busy users not to wonder what your buttons do? Are you letting the users to see your design on any devices? Oopsie. And 8. Are you letting the users not to spend a lot of time on unimportant stuffs on your design? And does your design help the users find and fix errors by themselves? Finally, does your design provide manuals, how to do tips? Okay, you can see the details on 3-2 part 1 video, or you could just Google them by yourselves. It's on the internet, Okay, so after we evaluate and fix the design by ourselves as a designer, now it will be the time to show it to your friends and family for real, meaning doing some usability testing with the real users. There are more than these three, I think. But let's see just these three types of usability testing. Those are mostly used in web app and screen interface designs. There are five. These are first is 5-second test, and first click test, and preference test. Those are pretty simple actually. You can do them very easily, I promise. 5-second test is to help you measure what information users take away and what impression they get within the first 5 seconds of viewing the design. They're commonly used to test whether web pages are effectively communicating their intended message. Your participants, your friends and family, should answer these 5 questions. 5? Yes, these 5 questions after seeing your design for about 5 seconds. Okay, after the 5 seconds, you ask the questions and note down their answers. The thing you should be thinking is when doing the test, are the answers the same as your expected intended answers? That's what you should be thinking when doing this 5-second test. Okay. Where is it? Okay. Next test, first click test. Now, the first click test is to find out how easy it is to complete a given task. The aim of the first click testing is to verify that the first click a user makes on an interface to carry out a given task is clear and easy. Checking if it's clear and easy. So the user, your friends and family, is given a task. For example, where would you click to buy this product if you're designing a shopping website? And as you show an image of an interface, your prototype, on which they can click to complete a task. Prototype or paper prototype or a high fidelity prototype. Okay, let's see how it's done for more detail here. The position of the click is recorded along. Recorded meaning you've written down. Okay, along with how long they took to click. Okay, further feedback can also be gathered at the end of the test by asking the user to explain why they clicked where they did. Okay, for our case, paper prototypes, we're doing this as I said earlier. First click test can be run using screenshots, sketches, wireframes, prototypes, and mockups, giving you the freedom to test from very early on in design process all the way through the final designs and live interface. As I said, for our cases, we're doing the usability testing on our paper prototypes. Final one, preference test. This is the third usability test. It is to help you to choose between design variations, if you have many variations, by simply asking users which one they prefer. Okay, the user is shown a number of design options and asked to pick a favorite. You can ask, which design does a user prefer? You prefer. Which design looks the most trustworthy? Which design looks the most modern? Which design looks the easiest to use? These kind of questions. Okay, we have covered these two. Now let's get into this post-launch research test quickly. The last one of the user research step. This post-launch research, This is done when you finish your design with real design tools, Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, maybe some coding for the interactiveness, and put them online to let the public see. It is done in the final week of the semester for our case. The step is an essential part of a product development cycle, which helps you to evaluate how successful you were and collect insights for further adjustments. It should help you to find answers on following questions. Does it meet the user's expectations? And what works and what doesn't? Is the product pleasant to use? What features do your users miss? What are the stumbling blocks? Okay, there are two, of course more than two, but we are covering just two. The first is customer review analysis. Too fancy name. It's just about reading the comments and feedbacks on your design from the people viewed or tried using your product. If you've done an app, you can see the comments on the App Store or Play Store. Well, this isn't for our case. Not to worry, we're just doing the prototypes, not the whole product. If you've done a video of your interactive interface, you can upload it on YouTube and see the comments. Maybe you've done some artwork or portfolio design, animated or static. You can upload to Behance, Dribble, Instagram, or Facebook, that you can see the comments and feedbacks and do some analysis on them. The more important thing in this research is to learn from negative reviews. These often complain about issues with elementary features that don't meet the basic expectations, or maybe others ask for new features. Second one of the third research step is exit surveys. Well, in a defensive name, you can see exit surveys. There's no better source of learning about your product's issues than the minds of customers who stopped using it. You can easily reach them via email after they stopped using your app for several days, when they cancel their subscriptions. But keep your questionnaire short and be humble. Maybe they stopped using your service after a serious bug and now they're mad at you. Also, keep the questions open-minded so your customers can pitch what's bothering them. Your assumptions might be wrong. Okay, see this example here. Oh, okay, anyways, it says, what was the biggest fear or concern about purchasing from us? There are only 3 choices for the Hicks law. Disappeared. For the Hicks law we've covered. Yeah. Okay, price. Price, if the product will work as described, and other. You give them 3 choices. For the Fitts law's sake. Okay. I think it's on a web interface. This example is on web interface because the send button should be longer. If it was on mobile app, wouldn't they? For the Fitts law's sake, as I said. Here. Okay. Bill Gates from Microsoft said, your unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. You get the meaning, right? Okay. Okay, end of the research thing. We've covered these few. Good job, guys. You have learned a lot. Now, prototype. Our class name was Human-Computer Interaction, Web Design, and Multimedia Design. Right? Thanks to this broad name we have here, you have many choices to choose from when choosing your final project topic. To say it again, one page or many pages, flexible website, mobile or bigger devices like tablet applications, apps, any types of computer games, MMO, land game, strategy game, action combat, etc., and 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D virtual reality games or any program interfaces, online or offline interactive books and toys, animations and motion graphics, video clips, well, you name it. The laws, principles, methods, theories we have covered up until now applies to all of them. I told you to choose a topic that you want to do or you need to do for your future career, or maybe to use it as your diploma project, right? Well, if you have a change of mind at this point, meaning you want to change your topic right now, you will have to do the flowchart in wireframe again. If that's not a problem, you can change now. I just want you to do something you will be proud of yourselves. Something you won't be embarrassed to show it to your girlfriend or boyfriend. At this point, we have to start doing your paper prototype for the design. Let's see what this prototype is. Oh my god. Are you thinking, oh my eyes, too much text? Okay, sorry about that. We have to know exactly what this thing is. Let's see the general meaning of prototype. It is a first or preliminary version of a device or vehicle from which other forms are developed. That's a general meaning. We don't need, we need it, but just, okay. The design meaning. It's an early sample, model, or release of a product created to test a concept or a process. Typically, a prototype is used to evaluate a new design, to improve the accuracy of analysts and system users. We're designing, most of you, web design. It's an interactive mock-up of your web design. While it may not have all the bells and whistles of final website build, meaning all the functions, workable functions, it can give you a really good idea of the functionality, user journey, and flow through a website. A website prototype is essentially a high-fidelity visual version of the site that allows you to link between screens and demonstrate how the website would work before going to build. It's a prototype, not the whole product. Well, basically, a prototype shows how the design works. It shows its functions. It's like the simulation of a real product. It could be animated or made with paper or with some prototyping purpose applications. Well, the research and the internet says there are so many types and methods of prototyping, but for me, I think you can just say there are basically two types of prototypes: a low fidelity and high fidelity. The best method of making a low fidelity prototype for a product is to test is the paper prototype. Paper prototype is not a wireframe we've been drawing for the assignments. The paper prototype shows how the design flows, the functions and movement, every buttons and strokes. Your paper prototype should include all the pages of your design, including pop-up pages, buttons, its movements. So it should have this stick it paper because we're doing also it should almost have the actual size of the product. So these size should be actual phone or tablet or desktop sizes. Because we're doing, as I said, to do the second research step of the validation and validation tests, we just covered a few slides ago. We are showing our paper prototypes to the users and do those 3 usability tests. So what is high fidelity prototype? This is our final project. For the low fidelity, we're doing this week. For the high fidelity, that's our final week project. It should be ready by final week for the presentation. As I said, we are not going to implement the final product, functional product, but we're doing the high fidelity prototype of our product design. What I want you to do is this part. High fidelity prototype can be interactive using some coding like JavaScript, clickable, or it can be shown in a video that how the interaction works. Okay, to make these make this work clear, make this text clear, let's see some good examples. Example works that I am expecting you to do. No. Where is it? Sorry, where is it? I guess here. Okay. This is example on Dribble. This is not the interactive one. I mean, I'm not interacting this mouse. It's a video. How the interaction works for this smartwatch. It's not the actual app, it's just a simulation of how it works. You see this animation? I will link down the link. Okay, let's see the second. This is a website of a newspaper. It looks like a newspaper. It's showing how the interaction or the animation. I used grid, something like this. I'm expecting you. Again, I'm not interacting with it. It's an animation. I think it's a portfolio of some artworks. It's an example. Let's see examples from Behance. I think it's a website of gaming characters. This interaction is going on here. Animation. It's not the real product, as I said. It's a high fidelity prototype. Or something like this. Interactive, infographical illustrations. Or like this, similar one, but a little bit simpler. And here's a small animation going on here. Whoops. And this, I will link down. Okay, sorry.